Okay, hello everyone, my name is Ivan Latijan and today I'm going to play a game called Rate the Dungeon. So this is my Rate the Dungeon character right now. My in-game name is Evander1998. I'm playing in server Asia 1 version 1.23.1 GA. My level is 10,411 and I'll show you my champion information. This is my let me hold on a second, let me check my equipment. Yep, this is my champion information right now. I'm at 78 trillion in attack, 9 trillion in defense, and 35 trillion in health. So I'm pretty okay currently, but not the best. Currently in Preman 3 guild from Indonesia, because I'm from Indonesia as well. I spend some of my real money currency. That's why I'm able to obtain the richest avatar. And this is my equipment right now. This is my equipment that I've been grinding for a long time. The current meta that I use right now is Remains of the Voice because it's really good. Along with Abyssal Heart, Abyssal Eyes, Joy of Bifrost, Olia's Blessing 2. I wanted to craft, to do a mythic craft onto the Hand of Light, but I didn't, it is not successful. That's why I got another Olia's Blessing, which is pretty useless. I'm going to do another mythic craft after that. And I got this Loki Broken Mirror, which is a good one, the best one. And I got the Infinite Circulation, which is also the best one. I got Steps of the Light, which is really good. And I'm waiting for the Pillars of Light. That's why I put the Shining Pillar for now, so that just to fill in for my items and equipments. So in today's video, I'm going to teach you and give you some tips and tricks on what skills to use on each of the classes in Raids of the Dungeon. So let's go to skills. Let's start with the warrior skills. So the skills that you wanted to use for the warriors. By the way, the role that I am using in Raid the Dungeon is Mage. So this is not my skills. This is just the warrior skills that are recommended to use for you guys. And I'm going to review these skills, give you some tips, and why should you use these skills for warrior, archer, and mage. And after that, I'm going to attempt to do some high level max stages rifts and max stages common dungeons as well. So this is the warrior skills. The first skills that you wanted to use is the Stormwind Blade. It's slash all around, striking at enemies and launching charged blade with a small chance of paralyze and stun. This one is really good because you can use to paralyze and stun enemies and slash everybody around, which is really nice for a first skill. And it also has a debuff of it can shock enemies for 20% chance and increase damage dealt to enemy by 5%. The debuff lasts for 1 second, so it's really nice. So the second one is this one. Oh wait, hold on a second. This is not the recommended skills for warriors, because I just realized that I used the Nimbus in this one. The reason why I use Nimbus, the speed skills or the wind underfoot, is for the Nimbus mount. So basically this skills sets is basically for people who speed farm adventures to get the fastest gold and equipment in adventures. So this is actually the speed skills for warriors, not the strongest skills for warriors. So I'm just going to review you the fastest skills that you can use for warriors. So this is the slash storming windblade. It is really fast, so you can slash all around enemy and strike enemy's unit, paralyzes them. The second one is soul cast. It's phantom sword swirls around enemy, so it swirls around, slowing them down and increases your speed as well. So, and this is the Celestial War Horse. It summons a Celestial War Horse to break up a crowd of enemies with a small chance of paralyzing them as well. So it paralyzes and then it breaks up the enemies. So therefore, this is really good for using speed skills to have a speed farm. If you want to farm quickly and fast, you need to use these skills. The next one is Arctic Anima. It's launch a furious assault upon enemy, which is really nice. It has a freeze, and it can freeze enemy chances 50% and lowers the enemy defense. So it's really good. So you can lower enemies' defense, so you can attack higher and faster. And finally, the speed boots. It's what I like to call. It's a wind underfoot. It's around allies with a bracing wind, raising their speed. So this skills is for speed. It's not the skills that you see here are not meant for farming higher dungeons, higher rifts for harder and stronger enemies, but this one is for just faster farming in general. Now, this one is the archer one. This one is not for speed, but this one is for damage. So you can farm a higher level of rifts and dungeons. So let's review the first skill. The first one is the cooldown missile. Launch a cooldown missile with a low chance of freezing the enemy, so you can freeze the enemy again with a 10% chance, and lower the enemy defense, which is really nice. The second one is Ice Arrow, which should launch a series of ice arrows with a low chance of freezing the enemy, freeze the enemy again. And then the second one is Shuriken Volley. Launch multiple shurikens with great speed. Has a small chance of crippling the enemy, which is really nice for damage as well. Lowering defense and killing the enemy little by little. Make the enemy bleeds. The second one is Summon a Sacred Beast, which launches poisonous guided missile against nearby enemies. So after you freeze the enemy with these two skills and give them bleeds, you poison them, which give more damage to the enemy, which is really nice for archer. And the fifth one is also poisonous. It can poison the enemy as well with the low chance. It's called Poison Aura. So this skill is really nice for freezing enemies, lowering their defenses, poisoning them, and then make them bleeds. And finally, this is the current meta for the rated dungeons, which is the Mage skills that I use from beginning. So I've been using Mage from the beginning of my levels, and this skills helps me a lot. So let's review the first skill. The first skill is Frost Blast. It's a high chance of freezing the enemy, so it freezes enemy again with a lower the enemy defenses by 30% chances for 1 second. So this one freezes the enemy. The second one is Summons a black hole that sucks in everything, which is really good to attack the enemy. It gives them damage as well. The third one is Enhancing the heroes with arcane power, max health, and dodge rate increases for 5 seconds. This is really nice to increase your max health and dodge rate, so that when the enemy attacks you, you won't be able to. Not a lot of attacks will be received by you. The fourth one is Terror of the Deep. It's summon a slumbering sea monster from the depth of the ocean to attack the enemy. Has a high chance of freezing the enemy. So this is really nice. It summons a sea monsters. It goes through the enemy and have a chance to freeze the enemy as well. So another freezing attack with the damage. And the last one is Arcane Cycle. Lasts for 8 seconds. Increase all the warrior stats by 20%. So it increases all the stats that I have for 20%, which is really nice, because you get a buff of 20% of your attack, health, defense, and everything, which is really nice. This is the skills that I use for Mage, and I recommended you guys to use these skills for Mage as well. Now I'm going to demonstrate the... Let me get that away first and get all my mail gifts. So let me demonstrate you a Rifts Max. Ya, lagi rekam kenapa? Ganggu nanti aja pak. Ya, ya. Sorry guys, that was my dad. I was talking to my dad. My dad came into my room. So let's continue. Let's do the Rifts max stage 45. This is the max stage for Rifts. Let's check this out. So this is the damage that I do towards Rift stage 45, which is really nice because I'm able to clear this with no hesitation at all. The damage is so high, it freezes the enemy chances, so the enemy won't be able to attack you at the time. So you will be able to just keep doing the attacks, freezing the enemies, and also healing yourself as well, like leeching the enemy to get you more health. And we're almost done with Rift stage 45. This is the max stages for Rifts in Raid the Dungeon, by the way. And there you have it. That's how you defeat Rift stage 45. And I'm going to show you how to defeat stage max stages of all the common dungeons. So stage 35 is the max stages for all the common dungeons in this game. And this goes really fast because my level is already really high. So clearing stage 35 in these common dungeons are really simple and quick without needing to do any speed builds. Right. So this is the second one. And I cleared him instantly as well. The next one is this one. Predator of the YGG Brazil. So most of the time I can just one-shot the stages because these common dungeon stages are actually pretty simple to defeat once you progress throughout the game. And then I'm going to do the final one, which is Vanaheim Sanctuary. Tower of Judgment. This one is the gold dungeon in this stage. It gives you lots of gold as well. It's like a gold dungeon basically. And I get around 600 million gold. So yeah, that's pretty much about it guys. That's the tips and tricks of the skills you use in each of the classes. So overall I review it one by one. This warrior skills is for speed farm. This is the speed skills that you want to use if you want to do some clearing fast in adventures, rifts, or other places. This is the skills that you wanted to use for archer, for damage and clearing high level rifts and dungeons. And this is the best skills for mage right now, which is freezing enemies and buffs your own self by 20%. So that's pretty much about it guys. Thank you all for watching and I'll see you on my next review of Raid the Dungeon.